All right, that was weird. Had a weird thing happen where my mouse does not want to work on the surface, and I don't know why. My mouse really didn't want to move. I was like, that's not great. Oh, I feel better. I feel good. I am full of burrito. And welcome, Gar. Hello, Gagaria. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, Isaac MCCanary. It's Wednesday. I've got some things I want to draw now. I got some things I want to draw now. Not to say that I couldn't have drawn things last week. Well, actually, I kind of couldn't. I don't know what happened last week. Last week I crashed hard, honestly. But this week I'm feeling much more energized. That's for sure. Uh, there's a couple things I could draw. I could also start on redrawing, I believe. Actually, where is it? Apparently, I have some. Oh, here it is. I'd start by actually painting this in. I could actually graphite paint this in. I haven't done yet. But I hope everybody had a good dinner, a good afternoon, and a good day. I had a burrito, and God, did I need that burrito. There are just sometimes you ever just like make a food, you ever just make something and are just like, wow, why don't I make this more? Kind of what I had today with that is just the general feeling of like, wow, that came out like really good. I should make that more often. Oh yeah, I'm feeling. This is what's going to be interesting, actually, is I can redesign a lot of this a little bit because I left this a little bit vague. Back when I drew this, I think I was like just trying to get something down on a paper and start working on my environmental design, and now I can kind of like really start thinking about like how all of this works together. Exciting and fun for And next time, I feel like I last session. Oh my god, last last stream or last time I play or the most recent Mothership game went really well, like really well, like way better than I anticipated it to, and it was a lot of fun. It was so much goddamn fun. I hope it was sufficiently spooky for everyone. Is the goal. Be a little bit spooky. This. Now I gotta do this. I gotta do this now. Hold on. There we go. And last time, for those who don't know, they made it into the they made it onto the space station. My players did make it onto the station. They have actually met the main threat. And honestly, I was really happy how that came out too. I think that played out exactly how I wanted it to. Because I don't remember if I said this out loud or if I said it to my friends afterwards, but at this point, the main goal of that game is kind of my love letter to science fiction and science fiction horror to like finally be like, this is just all the science fiction I like. So I'm just gonna do as much of it as I can. As much of it as I can, as much of it as I know. Um, we're just gonna have fun with it, and I'm really looking forward to that. Especially given last week because like it just seemed like my players were having a good time. I was having a good time. Seemed like the viewers were having a good time. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what the next session brings. I'll definitely have some stuff ready. Like I want to say I've got an amount prepared. I do have an amount prepared. And I'm a little bit ahead on it too, which is nice. That And last week, the only reason why I didn't draw is because like I was beat. I do not know why last week I was so out of it. Like I got done with my Dead Space stream and I was like, I can't today. I can't. It happens. Honestly, shout out to anybody out there like ever push yourself like too hard. Always be willing to be like, you know what? My body just said take a fucking break. So I listened to my goddamn body. And it turned out that was the right decision. Because sometimes your body just will tell you when to stop. And hot take, you should listen to it. Trust me. Listen to when your body tells you to stop, because your body is really concerned and wants you to really stop. Do that, and then block this out very carefully. Something I want to get a little bit better at. A little bit of my wrist hand control. Really, I just need to focus on things where I want them. That. And this will be interesting because this is going to be very dark. So this is going to be very dark. And what I should do is we go one, go one, two, go one, two, three, one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four, five, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. What I'm doing is I'm layering it forward so that way the darkest part kind of layers over without going too far over. We're going to do some lights. That, that, that. Hope everyone's doing a good time. Hope everyone's doing a good Guess I should say this more. If you're just watching, I appreciate it. You don't have you people. This is something I heard somebody saying earlier, and I was like, you know what? I should probably mention that. Like, if you don't want to, not everyone gotta talk. Not everyone gotta speak. That's okay. As long as you're here, vibing. As long as you're just vibing. Shit. Really? You guys get if anybody's for the people watching right now, you guys are getting the sneak previews. Unless this is you're being watching this in the far distant future, in which you're probably if you're watching this at the time that this game takes place. I hope that none of this actually happened to you. I can't claim to know the future, but I can claim that if it's like this, it'll help you prepare. I guess you can be prepared for when it happens. Also, just gotta say, I feel like I've learned a lot recently. Like within the last like almost 2 years, I've learned the most art stuff I've ever learned. Because I think I'll admit when I was getting into art, I don't think I really pushed myself actually that much in art because as much as I did struggle a lot with like a lot of bullying and stuff, there is something to be said that I also just kind of like never really felt driven to push myself. I really didn't. And the reason is that for me, I was pretty stubborn. I was like, I know how to do art. I know how to do my art. I know how to do what I do. And if I don't know something, then I just don't know it. But I never really felt like I was that like incessant on my work, I guess. Like I always was kind of like, nah, it's whatever, I'll figure it out, or nah, it's not a big deal. But now I feel like right now, especially, really found a lot of I've really been able to like fall into the style that I've needed to for such a long time. And I've really developed a style which I've really needed to. And I think that if anybody out there is trying to do art, you just got to keep doing what you're comfortable with until it's yours. Really, really a big part of it is just keep doing you. Just keep doing you, especially if it just is something you enjoy doing. Keep doing it. Biggest thing to always remember is it actually ain't a race. It really ain't. I learned that. I had to learn that a couple times, a couple dozen times. That's a-okay. That little bit of that. Rail. Gotta get my robot forklift to show up. You gotta get your robot forklift to show up. If you're gonna have a setting like this, you gotta have a robot forklift. Banded by science fiction now. Thank you, Mr. Cameron, for innovating on robot forklifts. I mean, the power loader is really cool. I do like the power loader quite a bit. It's an inspiring design. Sure. That dark and under. Do I need white lines? Kind of like that. Add some white lines. This is definitely something that's helped me a lot, is like actually being able to understand how to better control the line widths so that way I get more value out of them. I need my ruler. I need my ruler. I need to move this ruler a little bit. I wish it showed me where the ruler was pivoting. That would help a lot, but it does not, unfortunately. That helps a lot. That helps a lot. That looks like a ruler. Okay. Like that. This is something I've just learned, is that using your eraser in the right spots can make a huge difference. Knowing where to apply medium and where to remove it makes a big difference in being able to accomplish more, from my experience. And a little bit of medium. Just a little bit of medium there. Go in with our nicer, delicate. Sketch in some of those planes. Never mind. But they're there. Oh no, I had. Oh no, I had more picture up here. I didn't even realize that. Huh. Oh, what the hell? For some reason I thought I picked up, but I guess not. Uh, and I definitely want this to be pretty dark. When the players came in here, it was really dark, so. I really want to give that feeling that this is really want to give the feeling that this is a very, like, dimly lit, spooky atmosphere. Yeah, I like that. Want there to be a little bit of inside, so that way get an idea of what that's like, as well as to make it pop out a little bit. Definitely when I was doing this, is like, I'd come back to that later, and guess what? It's later. Guess what? I found later. Actually, later found me. Out, I was later the entire time. Oh, did I really close that? Boy, that's not gonna be good. If I did. I know. And I gotta say, I did bust this out pretty quick, honestly. I still got through this pretty quickly. There we go. Lighten that up, give a bit more depth. I think this is where a couple things get a little difficult because I want to make sure that this isn't lost in translation too much. There we go. Do something more like that. Yeah, I like that better. There we go. Yay! 51 months. 51 months, Silos. We appreciate it. It's spooky time. It's spooky time. I'm doing my drawing. Yeah, that's a long ass time. Honestly, that's a really long time. Appreciate it. It has been a while. Your support is appreciated. I mean, I try not to think about it too much. It's been a long time. I feel like there's been a lot of the community itself has changed a lot over time. I still don't know how to feel about how much it has and grown. Uh, but I ain't quit yet, so I guess I just gotta say I ain't quit yet. I guess. It is why I think I'm a little bit more I'm a little bit more vocal and being like, I don't know, got this far and I actually do want, so he'll stop subbing to people. Fair enough. Well, then I can't quit. That way you don't stop subbing to people. Got it. I can't quit. Shit. If I quit, Silos will stop subbing to people, and that's unacceptable. Oops. Oh, it actually zoomed in. Every time. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want, Stinky? Ah. Ah. What do you want? What do you want? Uh huh. Well, you gotta be in my lap as soon as I put something in my lap. Why is this what you want? This is the way that my cat operates. As soon as I have something in my lap, he's like, but that's not. That's not for that. There we go. Whoa. That. I like that. I do like that quite a bit. Yes? Whoa. stinky boy in my lap. He did better. He was doing better today, but he truly has been a stinky creature recently. Last couple times he woke me up, it was because his butt was gross. Which I guess I can't confirm or deny that was the reason why he woke me up, but it was what woke me up, so. Sir, I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to work here. At my hey. Let go. Well, my cat is chewing on me right now. You heard me talking shit, I guess. So, what are you doing? Spicy? Spicy? Sir? Sir? Cretin. Being a cretin. Being a cretin. Don't make me kick you out of my lap. I don't know why he's trying to eat me. Maybe he just thinks I taste good. He wants the burrito I made. God, I'm so glad I made that burrito. God, I'm so glad I made that burrito. It came out so good. Doing gross. Oh, gross. Yeah. That was a while ago. That was for stinky butt. That was for butt. That was for stinky butt. One second. One second. I'm having complications. What? Did not even close to the bottom, and it's like pulling it up, and I'm like, why? Why? Stop that. Oh, something like that. Oh no. actually. Decide how best to handle if I want to handle it that way. Essentially, when I learned that the eraser is another way to make lines, I went, oh, you use this more. Huge thing that changed for me personally. How I use the eraser more than anything else. Especially for making like little dots of light like this. I don't know why, but I really like doing it. It works really, really well. Need this to idea glass. I just got to give the idea that it's like glass. Oh, there we go. Now, do I want it to just be that? I don't know. I definitely am happy with it. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go with that for today. For that. And then I have a scene I want to draw. I guess it would technically be this. Yeah, I guess it would technically be this. Go down to my fine. You're going to draw my favorite scene of the last session. It's it. Went places. You don't if you weren't here for last session, you should go listen to the VOD. I think that what I really am proud of is when those when the mothership sessions hit, they make for some good VODs. So I like this. Going to do theirs. And this is what I'm really excited for with everything that I'm doing, right? Is that I'll be able to draw this kind of stuff, and I think it'll be fun to be able to be like, however I described it, did it match what people were thinking, or was it better or worse than they expected? Like, how bad was the situation for the players and everyone involved? So kind of reclined. So these bagging ledges. And what's going to be the challenge here is this is going to actually be a very, very dark picture. Because I want it to be like only illuminated by people's like I want it to be illuminated primarily like by people's flashlights is what I'm going for. Okay, so I need to establish a Rosebud helmet. I think Rosebud. I like this, right? We're gonna go Snork. We're gonna go Snork. I like me a good Snork design, so I definitely want this hand here. I really enjoy, like I had been sitting on, by the way, this scene right here for a while, like weeks. And I'm really glad it went out as well as it did cuz it was something that I had been thinking about for a while now. That. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have fun drawing this. It's gonna be a challenge, but when it's done, this will be terrifying, I think. Because the idea I definitely wanted to make clear is that the when the engineer transformed, they seemed to be lucid at the time. That. Poor Nozark. Taken before he could even do anything. Not like I anticipated him to suddenly explode into a terrible monstrosity. I mean, that's part of the front. That's part of the fun for me, in my opinion, is being able to write stuff like that. That's why I'm like, if I was a little bit wiser and really wanted to like meet this game at what it really wants to do, I should have designed, and I might keep this in mind in the future, is to design something more along the lines of like uh, uh, Night Vale. Night Vale does have a pretty good bit in which if you're an intern, you're probably not going to survive the episode, and I do like the idea of that in a piece of tabletop of just like somebody dies every session. But I don't know if that I it will depend on it'll depend on how the actual game goes because I don't foresee it ever getting that bad, but I don't know. I put my players in danger, but nobody got hurt, so well, technically one of my players got hurt eventually. One of my players got hurt eventually, okay. Actually no, he did have his mask off. In fact, I liked that I did that. So the chin up here, like that. There we go. Idea is there. Kinda? That kinda like that. Way to do that. Or like this. Now I'll leave that open. Another one over background. Because this is like customs. Bag check. Another snork. Gotta get another snork. This is after specifically when Colia did his thing, so Colia. I'm gonna put Colia here. I need a reference. I need a reference though. I need to look at my big round. I need to look at my big round helmet. Actually, I'm gonna say if he's just in his attire. Like that. Canisters. Like a balaclava, essentially. Finger. Finger. Kind of like that. Ooh, I like that. Already an ad? Already? Oh, come on. I've made such good progress, though. I don't want to stop. This one, I think this is gonna... I think this piece, gonna be a banger, honestly. I think this one's gonna turn out really, really well. Also get bread in here. I'm gonna say like this, right? And he has something. I'm gonna say like if it's like a blasting charge of some kind, like like this. Ah, it's time for the ad. Shit. I gotta take an ad. I gotta take a break for the ad. Dude, this is. I think this one's gonna come out really well. That's what I was saying. I was like, man, I had a lot of like, I had a really good time, getting to act out this sequence because I think this sequence was good and I think it was fun and I think it was scary. That's the biggest thing that I'm proud of is that it was really, really scary, honestly. Cause yeah, I mean, like I'd been wanting to make like my I love the way that um the I love the way that I love the way that Alien handles that reveal of the chest burster, especially for anybody who hasn't ever seen Alien, because you don't know what's gonna happen and you don't know what's happening, and like they do so much with actually so little. Like it, all of the performance in that moment is so good because a lot of it is very visceral and a lot of it is very expressive. And also like the person who's being attacked, like they do a really good job of establishing that like things are just escalating very quickly and nobody knows what's going on, including them. Um, and like there's just a sense of panic to not know what is like going on. Um, and I really wanted to like capture that, like that essence of like because I feel like a lot of things that scene works so well because that scene feels like an eternity. It feels like a really long scene, and it kind of is, and it kind of has to be. Like it's not fast. There isn't like a musical stinger. There's not even really music in the background. That's why like I didn't play any music at that part because I really wanted the tone of that setting of that situation to really steep in it just being like something's happening and nobody knows what's going on. Um, you know, and like really show that like things have somehow escalated way bigger than I think anyone really knows what is going on. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna enjoy drawing this because I mean it's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. And welcome back from ads, everybody. I hope you all were able to fend off the ads. I hope they weren't. I hope that casualties were at a low. We always hope for this whenever ads come by. What's funny, and I'm actually particularly proud of this. I feel like when I created or when I did like God of Limbs years ago, I was like doing a decent amount of like artwork and stuff for it, but I never really got all that far. Um, I think like I did like a decent amount and then like I stalled out pretty badly. Um, but I actually feel like I've gotten like a lot of really really good work done. Um, it's something that I particularly think I've done really well uh, this time around. Is like I've really honed in on being able to get a lot of really good designs out and been able to really flesh out a lot more of the design work, I feel like, than the first time I did this. Well, I want to design charge is the question. I don't know. Still kind of working on that actually. Still kind of working on how to exactly to design that kind of explosive. Could make it like a round explosive. Actually, no, if it's supposed to be like, yeah, we're gonna do the old brick. We're gonna do the old Semtex brick. I like that. And going to this something like that. Little console sticking off of it like that. Have some tape up here. Just ever so slightly. Need hands to be uh spit. How dare you? Don't do that to me. Don't you give away where I get my art from. I don't know. I will admit, I don't want to be associated as much with that anymore. Not everything gotta. I actually want my art to be art. Not everything gotta be horny all the time. Not all the time. Now, some of the time. Head in the lower right looks like a thigh. I'm working on it. It's not supposed to, but I'm working on it. There, now I don't have to draw my now I don't have to draw my players' faces. They've got helmets now. I had to draw their faces. Yay. No, I'll draw their faces eventually. No, I'll draw their faces eventually. I just don't know how to draw them at the moment. Isn't odd problem to have, you know? Easy fine. Easy fine. You're just horny. Sorry, Silos. You're probably just deal with it. It's fine. I mean, if I'm to be completely honest, there was a lot more in the original writing because I was processing my life. Much more focus on sexual imagery because not because I was making it horny, but because of quite the opposite. Actually, it was supposed to be uncomfortable. It was supposed to be like not very good. It was not supposed to feel very good. It was not at all attractive. Anything, it was about stressful how stressful it is. So I say I'm giving all the enemy designs pants because they didn't used to have pants. That said, I will probably reuse a design that might be named even a little on the nose because I started giving them names. But that won't happen. I don't even know. It might be one of those cases where I name the enemy, but I don't think that the creature is ever going to have its name said. And I don't think it should. I think it should not be said because if I say its name out loud, it'll be like, oh yeah, sure. And I think it would be scarier to just be like, hey, here's the thing. He's not as well, not technically. I mean, not technically. Technically speaking, these are all zombies, but not really. That's my whole thing. Is like I don't want it to just be infected. There's more going on. I promise. I don't want it to just be zombie infected. They've got their own thing going. I promise. There we go. Very nasty looking scalpel here. And then Sean's character has big rubber gloves. They've got big rubber gloves. Okay, that these are like hooded gas masks that kind of come down a little bit farther. And like she definitely back. Now this is where I need, yeah, this up more like this. She needs to be actually moved up way, way more. Needs to be more like up here. This guy. I'm gonna do something like that. Actually trying to think about shapes of certain things, figure out where people are actually shaped and stuff like that. That Sean did slit his throat, so wow. You saying there are bots here? Those aren't bots, those are people. Supposed to be medical people. These are supposed to be the medical people, even. How's it going, Slime? Nice. Well, we had the next session for this game last Saturday. Oh, I was gonna say, no session this Saturday because Jackson is going to a person's wedding because apparently his brother was like, I'm gonna have my wedding on Halloween, and Sean and I were both like, that's awful. That's terrible. I mean, congratulations to his brother. I've never met him. That's awful. The only reason why I really think it's awful is just because it's like, wow, guess sorry anybody who wanted to do anything on Halloween, because or I don't know, your partner wanting to do anything on Halloween, I guess. Never mind that. Just have a Halloween party. I will. We just won't have. We will do something for Halloween. Don't you worry. We will do something for Halloween for Friday. Just note, unfortunately, we will not be having a session until next week. Until probably the following week. That'll be the next time we have session. That's all. Which is fine. It just is like, oh, okay. All right. That said, that gives me a lot of time to catch up on some stuff anyways. Because like I really wanted my Sundays to also be like, okay, I'm gonna do some setup on Sundays. And I was like, the last couple Sundays I have been too tired. I or not setup, but like to I wanted to use Saturdays um as a way to or Sundays as a way to like do mainly try to like prep ahead a little bit, like or not prep ahead a little bit, but get some audio logs done. That's what I want for my I wanted for my Sundays, but I think I'm tuckered out. I might do some writing. I might try to like start it, but oftentimes I'm like trying to do other chores and I'm just like really tired usually on those days. So it might just be a wash for that, but that's fine. Besides, I want that time to be able to spend it with what I need the time when I can get it. I need the time when I can get it. Big. Go thin. But don't worry. Hopefully it'll just be, 1 week. Then we'll be back onto it. I mean, like, I think I've really hit my stride, and Now it's just go from here. I feel like I always have one. It's always usually really early, but I have one session that usually goes a little bit rocky. I think there's always one session that goes a little bit rocky in my games, but it usually happens early on, and then after that, it's like I got my mojo. I figured everything out, and I had that on the second one. I feel like, and if you guys enjoyed the second one, that was the bad episode so far. So if you guys still enjoyed the second episode, be excited because I feel like the first episode was really good, and the third episode was really really good. So I think moving forward, like I've got like because my friend James Jackson was like, so how long do you think that this will last? How long do you think this will go? And I was like, I do want it. I do want this to like have a pretty. I don't want this to be the longest game in the world. Actually, I'm really like trying to hold restraint and be like, no, I won't have time to explore everything. And it sounds like we've got goals. My players have goals. They have things that they want to accomplish, and now the goal is to have them actually like start pursuing that. So like we have things that we're gonna do, and we're gonna go places, and they're gonna go do things in my setting, and anything that happens on the way happens on the way. Like they don't have to go to every part of it. They don't have to do everything. There is no completionism for this. Like it's it's all freaking uh Calvin Ball anyways. Perfect. Yes, yes. Oh, start an episode. Parts I Fred with his bomb. Fred, what are you gonna do with that? Fred, buddy, what are you doing with that? It was I have to hand it to my players by the way, especially Fred. Fred was like, "It's time to use this now," and I went, "Okay." It's time for you to use your dynamite? Okay. I mean, it made for a good moment, and I wasn't gonna punish them for that. I wasn't gonna be like, "You fools, you're supposed to save that for later." Like, no, I wasn't gonna be that mean. But they weren't wrong to be like, I know I'm in the middle of space on a space station. Like, I don't want to accidentally scuttle it. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to be like that mean. Like, I really didn't, because I like was not expecting them to use it, and so never, never. I don't. I've had too many experiences being like, you didn't do exactly what. Well, not too many experiences of that. But I actually haven't run into you didn't do exactly what I wanted you to do. So now, bad time. Like if anything, if my players do something I didn't expect, I have to roll with it. I like that kind of stuff, and I like doing that with my players personally. Players with my players and the people that I play with is like I would rather roll with it. Big station. It is a big station. Fairly big station. Agreed. I agree. Tile the floor really. This is just something I'm getting better at. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just has to be there. Quiet, darker in the background. That. Right. That right. I definitely want it to be darker. This is a dark, dark, dark room. To get his industrial sized drawstring bag. Can't believe that. I can't believe that Sean chose a drawstring bag, but you know what? It's fun. Like that. Actually, no. Yeah, that has to go that way. That makes sense. Something like that. Do that. One. Lamp there. Personally, I like shoulder lamps. I think they look cooler. Whenever I draw something like this, I prefer shoulder lamps. I don't know why. I think there's something like innately like kind of like I like how they're kind of unreliable, right? Like they only point where your shoulder is. They don't point exactly where your head goes, so I like that. Fun fact, it's okay to make something kind of unreliable in your settings, in games and stuff like in pieces of media. It's okay to make something unreliable. I think this is something that I've seen in a lot of pieces, like a lot of criticism of media by people sometimes, where they're like, "Oh, if they just gave him something that worked," and it's like, well, if they gave him something that worked, nothing would go wrong, right? Like I do think, and I don't think that that's like that often of a kind of like criticism, but I do feel like sometimes, like a lot of people who dislike horror dislike it because they're like, it's a lot of people dislike horror when it's describing it as like unbelievable, and I'm like, I kind of get it. I kind of get the feeling of being like that. I think part of it really comes down to being able to at least believe that like something can go that wrong, or something can have that bad can happen, or not being prepared. Like I don't know. There's a lot of factors, right? Like I definitely want it to be really dark. Like I want this. I want it to be pretty goddamn dark in here. Ideally speaking, I should be able to like this, right? He needs to be the brightest colored thing in the room, definitely. Give me 1 second. I gotta And I want something like that. And then we want to go down. Ideally speaking, the only light that's coming in this room is going to be coming from them. Actually, the darker I make this, especially around the outside, better. We'll see. We'll see. You won't be laughing for long. No. Something like that. You need to go thinner. This will give me the reflection of everything. What I'm going for. Also gives everything kind of a much more rubbery look, depending on what kind of lighting I'm going for here. And I need a lighter gray. Darker here. little bit bigger because I'm trying to give a lot more drastic, a lot more contrast, show all the lights that are coming on. There we go. There we go. Oops. Having a little bit more there. Honestly, like, let's say most of the light is around. Fun part of figuring out where the light and shadows go. Not something I'm very good at, but we're gonna figure it out. Go a little bit larger. Slightly. Stop there. I hate when that happens. I don't know why I'm so bad about that. Trying my best. We start to capture and understand exactly how the light is gonna bend around different things. It's tough. It's a tough thing to actually kind of like fathom, I think. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. Something like this. It needs to. Like that. Like that. Ooh, yeah. I like how this is looking now. A little bit darker back here. Get him! Kill him, Silos! How dare you? Where do you have the best view? Thank you, Silos. On Shane, where you find the best viewers. Already got those. We already got those. I appreciate you guys. We already got the best viewers. I didn't need your stinky viewers. We already got the best viewers. Bah. Favorite. Give me my chill Signalis song Signalis vibes. hang out to. Pretty good. Oh. Can you still tell what's going on in this picture? I think I can. It is the concern I have is whether or not it's a little bit too drowned out, but I think I got everything, honestly. You lost Fred's hand a little bit, but it's fine. We're working on it. I mean, this is a really, really, like, this is the situation they are in. It is a very dark room to begin with. Like, it's not easy to see. What I'm proud of is, like, I think I've really nailed that look of, like the flashlight look, actually. That I'm a little impressed I was able to pull off so well. Helps that I keep on doing stuff like this. Kind of lighten everything a little bit. Ads. Ads are coming. Always remember, the best way to arm yourself whenever an ad break is on its way is if you take a 2x4 plank of wood and you hammer in a couple of nails and at least one screw. I think why haven't we've seen the classic Spike bat and Spike and board with a nail in it. Why have we not seen one done with screws? I think screws would be pretty fucking good, actually. They got more ridges. It would stop the screw from entering the target as deeply. That's fair. That's fair. If you're going for penetration, I'm thinking like more surface area to cause surface damage, but that's fair. Probably wanted. Well, see, that's the thing is you do a combination, right? Like you do some screws, some not, some nails. You have a nail side and a screw side. I think you do a nail side and a screw side. You get the screw side for if you're getting needing to do some in depth, but you also do the nail or you do the nail side for if you're wanting to get some like past some armor or some plating or something like that. And then you have the screw side so that way when you hit somebody with it, like it's not gonna it just does a really gnarly surface wound that will probably cause them problems later. You know, I think that's totally fair. But I work off of a tactic of what's the term when you're going for tactics that are going to go for a long time. Suddenly can't think of it. I use it all the time, and I can't think of it all of a sudden. So I'm thinking like got to think about how the weapon does its thing. Small contact surface can pierce through thick flesh and armor more easily. Not to say that hammers, for example, don't have a place. Also add, yes. See, that's what I think is like in between. I think it's a good in between where it's like you probably aren't using it for penetration. You are using it for just to give that blunt surface a little bit more texture. A little bit more texture. A little bit more texture, a little bit more grippage. I'm really liking how this is coming out, by the way. I think that this was the right move. This was the right move. I like this because it does what I wanted it to, which is it really like obscures what's going on in this picture pretty well, I think. It also shows how like because like the power's out. The power's out in this part of the station when they first got to the dock, the power wasn't on. So like nobody knows what's going on right here. I think also for simplicity, um I'll start with one light, and then I think I have to overlap it with another. Is how I'm gonna do that. I might do like one or two lights, but I shouldn't do more than like two light sources. And I think this gets everybody in the picture that was like present too, because it has Fred with his bomb. It has Kolya with the knife. It's got Joanna holding the legs down. Quincy is somewhere in there, but I don't. There's too much. There's too much to draw. Welcome back from ads, everybody. Yeah, this might be the rest of the stream is just this subject, but that's fine. Like, I mean, look at it. I mean, look at this. I think it's coming along real nice, actually. With an actual black. Color. Actual. I mean, it's good for stuff like this, where I'm just really subtly trying to get everything. Hell yeah! Look at that! Look at that! Sometimes you gotta save things like black and stuff for like later. If you use it too soon, sometimes it can cause more problems. There we go. It's something like that. Oops. Didn't realize that was so big. Don't you say it. It was an accident thing. Bill's also somewhere in here. Bill's off screen screaming. Just gonna. Do something like that. A little bit more texture. A lot of this. Add a little more color there. Got the screw in the board for a weapon. The exit angle isn't going to be the same as the entry angle. Might actually be onto something. Told you. You'll leave a larger. The problem would be getting it stuck, unfortunately. But this is why it's an improvised weapon. You're not looking. You're not. Listen. You would have a problem. I could see there being a problem of being like, oh, actually, it would. Yeah, it would. You'd have a bit of an issue with it getting stuck in the target, but eh. But also, it's scary. Think about the intimidation factor, or anything that would be intimidated by. I think I'm getting it. Ooh, I think I'm getting it. Ooh, I think I'm getting it. It's less likely to be able to pierce vital organs, but it's going to rip on its way in and out. Yeah. It's just bad. That's just going to be bad. The big hole that's going to bleed. We called a bit. That's what we call a big hole that's going to bleed. Light here. Then, really fine, right? Yep. Little refractions. Yeah, I like how this is coming out now. This is coming out really nice. I need to do take this, right? Outline. I just need to draw me a blood splat. Darker, and then too big. Too big. As far as improvised weapons go, you think you'd prefer something like a hoe or something? Interesting pull with the hoe, actually. I like that. No. I like that. I had not considered the hoe. Kind of like that. That makes sense. The hoe. Now you have me thinking of kill the hoe. Now you have me thinking of kill the hoe, which, I mean, always kill the kill the hoe. I still can't believe she didn't know what she was saying when she said that. It's classic. That's an internet classic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up "killed the hoe." You'll find it real fast. I love how confused Pika May is when she says it too. She's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then when she explains, she's like, "Oh, I really didn't know that meant that." Oh, poor summer child. I love this. Don't miss. Don't miss. Wait, don't miss. Don't miss what? What did I miss? Oh, what? With the hoe? Don't miss with the hoe? I think you would run into some issues with it getting stuck and things, but that'd be the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. Uh-huh. Oh, believe you me. The first time I missed an appointment, I was like, God, I ding you for that shit. It's like, sorry, I'm trying my best. It happens. Certainly was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna forget to go to. I'm not gonna forget that again. Little bit risky here. Big dark. Ooh, yeah. That looks really good. Oh, yeah, that looks really, really good. I'll be excited to see what my friends think of this. I hope they'll recognize it. I hope they'll recognize what the hell this is. I'm sure they will. It's a pretty big moment. Like I said, like if you have not listened to the last VOD, I highly recommend it. It got is some shit happened. Some shit happened in the last in the previous mothership game or mothership session. Like it was wild. Also, if I want to deviate a little bit, if I just want to mix it up, there's something I need to draw. I need to draw. Apps. We have a tab for this. Say like got this. Here. Yeah, kind of like that. Is everybody? What gave Sean his brain blast. This is what made Colia go to another place. There we go. We want it to be clear that it like has cleavage, but it almost feels crystalline. Ooh, that looks cool actually. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. Like this, we're gonna do. This will be interesting. I'm gonna test something. Whole thing. Need this thing. Boy, this is always the hard part with me is how to color stuff like this. Evenly, evenly. Get lazy. It texture. Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, that looks good. This is what Sean touched. Would you touch something that looks like this? Tell me, viewers. Is this something you would touch if you saw it ominously glowing a little bit? We want to make it clear. Like, clearly still. Like it's chiseled. Oh, that looks cool. Perfect. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Maybe with the stick first. He did poke it with his scalpel first. He didn't just touch it, he did poke it with the scalpel first. Be fair, he did try to do the safe thing first, and I commend him. Like, no, yeah. I just also am glad that he decided to do the more interesting thing, which is grab it with his hand. And before anybody asks, I almost did say bare hand. Actually, no. It worked through his glove. Ooh, yeah, this thing looks cool. Oh yeah, this looks really cool actually. I'm very proud how this came out. This looks really good. Does it look like an artifact? It's not supposed to be complicated. This is like the first thing that they run into is like an artifact. It's not supposed to be a very complicated artifact. It's supposed to be very, very simple. Ooh. Oh, that looks so cool. I'll probably go back to that other picture here in a bit, but I just really wanted to flesh this out because it's stuff like this that I'm like, this is the thing, as much as I'm like, I like theater of the mind, I do like theater of the mind. This is the thing that I think I have that I can do very well for my view for my players is like there's always going to be a little bit of ambiguity, and the best horror is going to be like is going to be a little bit obscured, right? Like I think that's always going to be the case. But on some level, I can actually verifiably show things, and I think horror really goes best when you kind of toe the line between the two, right? Like you don't see everything, but what you see, if you really do see something, it's got to be like worth the viewer's time to see. Um, and that's why I really wanted to depict this way that I did, and I wanted to depict this scene. That's why I really wanted to depict this scene is like I wanted to show that like what the light was on, what people could actually see. This is what they saw. Like they saw this. This was no there was not much obscuring. They things like Kolya looking and feeling the torso suddenly like start to descend and like start to and lose like a lot of mass. Like that wasn't like hidden. That wasn't vague. No, that was actually that's the opposite of vague. He was very specific. Like they front and center had a got to see everything on display first and foremost. And I don't know, I really, really felt it. Like when I was even after that stream, I was like, boy, I need to draw that moment because that moment came out really good. Hell yeah. Make sure to highlight that this is where. Yeah, he went straight in there. He did not hesitate. Coley was like, I take the knife and I slit his throat. And I was like, okay. And this is something I kind of am like, I think the best things that happened, the best ways that I handled the game last time that I'm gonna be more willing to do, like just in the future, just like for my own play and just like moving forward. And I recommend this now. I'm like, maybe try this. Just be for me, I'm going to try to better judge when it's appropriate to roll, because it sometimes is not just not in the player's best interest, but also not in the player's best play to make them roll everything. Sometimes an action can just happen. You can just let an action happen. And I think what I'm at is when is it going to be more interesting for when a roll will fail? That's when you want to reserve rolls for, is when it will equally be interesting to succeed as it will be to fail. Because otherwise, I think I'm at the point that, like, the thing that discourages me and anyone, in my opinion, from taking an action is feeling like, well, if I fail my action, it's gonna be a waste. Like, you're not gonna feel like you're gonna accomplish anything. When the best times to roll are when you want something interesting to happen and you want the stakes to be there. And they don't need to be there for every single roll. They don't need to be there for every single roll. One of the things that helped kind of come to that conclusion was actually after the second session, Sean gave me a little bit of criticism that was helpful about something he called let it roll, essentially. And the idea is kind of the criticism he was giving is it felt like there was a little bit roll heavy, and there was a lot of the feeling of like just roll till you win. And actually the best way to avoid that is to, when you have a roll, let that roll play for as many actions and as long as possible. Don't just let it be for one individual action. And I kind of need that reminder. It's like, it's one of those things that I think, like, when he started talking about it, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. You're right. I should do that. And it's not like something that I was like, oh, I never thought of that before either. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's yeah. And I think sometimes you need that, right? You need the reminder to be like, oh yeah, this is how you should do something. And that's what I want to, like, kind of roll that forward. Ironically, we did, no pun intended, into it being like broader, right? Like, instead of it just being about like only make them roll, instead of it being like, you know, make them roll, they roll a failure, they have to deal with the failure. Like, actually be like, no, the failure made a new situation and now they can make new options and new choices, and like they don't have to roll to fix their problem. Don't make players roll to fix a problem they caused with a roll. Make them fix it through the actions that they take. And Mothership really wants to remind the GM and the players that really you shouldn't be rolling unless you absolutely have to. Rolls are there to add tension and there to strain a situation, but they're not there to be simulation. Or they don't have to be, I guess I should specify. And for anybody out there who likes to play Simulation E, if you can manage it, that's fair. I agree with Sean. I agree with my friends. It is better to limit your rolls. It is better to limit rolls. It is better to not make the players roll on every single thing, and be willing to be like, no, you just do it. Like, even if it's like a high stress situation like this, if I don't see the value in a failure, don't make somebody fail. A hot take. Don't make somebody fail unless the implications of failure will lead to a better story. That's not to say never, obviously, don't always make your players succeed. Don't, like, that's what roles are there for. The role is there to be like, remember, roles are a tool, not just a mechanic. They're a thing there to help provide context when you don't have any, or when you need like a little bit of added context. And I feel like it really showed in the last session where that worked, is like I didn't make Sean roll to slit the guy's throat. I didn't see the point in that. If I don't see the point, like, I had that eureka moment of like, I don't see the point in making him have to roll that. There is no point. Because what is more interesting to me is the outcome of what happens given this moment. Like, he doesn't need to do like a combat roll. He's not gonna like. One thing is like, it also helps to be like, well, if you can't, I think that there's something to be said that if you can't think of an interesting way to make somebody fail, don't put them in a situation or don't make them make a role that they can fail. If you don't know how to make the failure interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Take 10 is a good mechanic for that. Like, be willing to be like, if you want to take your time. Also, always be willing to like. This is something I'm going to be like trying to even like be keep in mind for myself is that the players are under a time crunch, but I want it to be time resource. It's not that they can't take time and that they can't slow their characters down. It's that they are under a set amount of time, but their characters are still people. Like they're gonna have to slow down at points. Like they can't run their characters into the ground actually. Like things are gonna take an amount of time no matter what. Like I'm gonna say like if there's like slight downtime, things go by the order of hours instead of minutes. You know, like be willing to separate minutes. Be willing because I feel like sometimes the reason why combat in D&D particularly feels very grindy for me is because when you really break down D&D combat, regardless if you follow the timetable or not, actually not a lot of time happens in D&D. D&D moves insanely slow time-wise. Like you pass a very little amount of time sometimes in D&D in a lot of time taken. And that's something that I actually think that specifically Mothership and things like Powered by the Apocalypse and other games really succeed at. And the reason why they succeed at it is because encounter design is not rigid in those systems. D&D can be a little bit too rigid when it comes to encounter, and that kind of holds it back in that sense. And it's not that that's bad. It's not that that's bad. It's just and that's the problem. Think about think about how long 10 rounds is going to take. That's where it's a problem. Whereas Mothership really encourages like don't break things up into rounds if you don't have to. You can have rounds. We have rulings for that, but a round is about 10 seconds, and it's 10 seconds that everyone does everything in that 10 seconds. And there's not a turn order. It's just based on kind of like what I like to call contextual initiative, which is like actually who's in like the most advantageous spot, who's like doing things first. Like that's that kind of situation, right? Like people don't take an action because they rolled their decks, and that's when their turn is. Like no, it's actually based on like who has the most applicable action. And I think Mothership kind of did something that makes me kind of like want to do this for more things. Is like they really encourage everybody like say what you're gonna do at the same time, and then everything resolves at the same time. And then the way that I break that down is I say, okay, everybody is at the same spot. Everybody describe what you're doing, what your next action is going to be. And then I'll be like, okay, these are the rolls that I think would make sense for that. Roll those. Everybody roll them at the same time. And the roll completion is based for me the easiest way is roll complete it, and it has worked this way, and it's just made it very smooth. Is action completion goes in whoever succeeds best because this is a roll under D100 system. So the people who roll lowest have their actions complete before everybody else's. I think that's totally fair, and I think that's totally understandable, and it allows for an actual 10-second round that you describe in 30 seconds to a minute. And you can actually have multiple rounds. But D&D, because every single turn has to be done, because your players have to take their turn independently, individually, it sucks. I think D&D would be better. Well, I don't think it would be better, but my problem with D&D for it having to be that like really grueling turn-based means that like I think the timer should be longer. I don't think it should be like 6 seconds. I think it's like you take like 3 minutes to take a turn, then you at least took a couple minutes to take your turn. And that's true. And that criticism comes like me not at me saying like don't play D&D for that. That's the reason why I take issue with D&D, like personally. That's like me and my friends kind of like started shying away from it. That's that I do not like that. I do not like that. But it's not because I think that it's bad game design. It's D&D is designed for it. And I think that that rigidity of being designed around that is what causes a lot of problems for me in D&D. Because for me, like I get to the point that I have like usually D&D, because of how long a turn goes, I am thinking about my turn on somebody else's turn, and I think you're supposed to. But unfortunately, players don't always do that. So I also think that's usually what slows things down, is like people sometimes aren't paying attention, or people aren't thinking about like what their turn is until it's their turn, which I've always found weird, but everybody plays games differently. I particularly though, I'm always like, even if like I'm a few turns down, I'm thinking like, okay, if everything was to stay the same, this is what I would do, and then kind of modify it based on what other people do. But like I'm usually by the end of my turn, I'm thinking about what my next move is gonna be. Like, and I think probably what a lot of people, the reason why it seems to me probably seems like people don't think about their turn until it's their turn is they might be like, okay, I can't make any decisions until I see what everybody else does. Yesn't. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the best etiquette would be think about what your character would do if they could immediately do something else, and then modify it based on what other people do. But still, like, have an idea. Like, if nothing happens, if you think of a plan of like, okay, this is immediately the next thing I want to do, and then everybody goes and it wouldn't have been impacted, you do the thing. That's why I recommend doing that. Like, it's okay to be like, oh, something happened that I didn't plan for. Then you modify the plan, sure. But I don't see that being so disruptive that you would be like, well, I can't make a plan until I know what everything has happened until it's my next turn. Yeah, yes. I think that is like, yes, exactly. Assume everyone misses, no one moves, and you take no damage. What do you do? Because that can happen. Actually, that can happen. Um, and I think that's like what would speed up combat, because I think D&D combat can be snappy if you let it be snappy. Because it's also very tactics based, I think a lot of people slow down, and that causes some issues. I think that causes some issues. It causes some issues for me. So clearly, you won't shut up about it. Ugh. You don't even like table. You don't even like D&D, do you? Oh yeah, me and my friends are not super big into D&D much anymore. We just prefer other systems, like Powered by the Apocalypse and stuff, because we're very narrative and performative focused. So like we want to be able to have that kind of mechanical flexibility, and we really like how it's just about, it really focuses and hones in on a lot more of the improv and a lot more of the kind of like mechanical hodgepodge. So if you want mechanically like crunchy systems, that's fair. That's fair. I have learned with my friends. I think where I land on the crunch level is still Traveler. Traveler is the most crunch I've liked, because Traveler has a lot of like crunchy mechanics that you can like apply to actions, but they're snappy and they're quick. I like that about that. For me. And Traveler was the first tabletop game that I played. That said, we've been doing a World of Darkness. I'd say World of Darkness is decently crunchy. Like I like the way that you do rolls in World of Darkness. Yeah, there are like Mothership, like Powered by the Apocalypse, like Burning Wheel. Traveler. I do like BattleTech. Me and Jackson like BattleTech, but it was a little too crunchy for Sean, honestly, and I respect that. Like we literally had to find ways to tone down the crunch because he was like, I have to look at another goddamn chart. I'm like, you know what, fair. Like, yeah, that's fair. Like that's a fair and valid criticism of that system to be like too much. Even though I personally like the simulation-y. I like how simulation-y BattleTech is. I think that's what's fascinating about BattleTech. Is BattleTech isn't so much a game about mechs as it's much more of a military. It's more of a mil sim than I anticipated to be. I really was not anticipating a vehicle mil sim at all. Like and they pull it off. And I think it needs to be crunchy to be able to pull that off. But inversely, it's pretty fucking crunchy. Like I won't lie. Like you gotta really like know the mechanics, or else you're gonna be shifting through 80 different tables. And that's fair. It's totally fair. And that's not even to say that I wouldn't play D&D still. Like I've had good times in D&D, and D&D can be a lot of fun. Again, I always think like the criticism that me and my friends come up with is like ironically for us its combat is a little bit too clunky for how combat focused it is. But also could be the way that we play. Could also be that just generally very bleh. Because we are particularly slow players to begin with. I think that's also what it is. Like looking at judging by the mothership game, like we take our time, we go slow. Like we're not very quick players, which is kind of how we work. Um, I don't know why, and not complaining either. Like I like that because I think that we oftentimes take a lot of time to like focus on things. We get like really good scenes for it too. So all editions you've played, going back to BCMI or AD&D, might help a bit. Fifth edition was, I would say, like fifth edition was still like peak. Like I really did enjoy fifth edition, and for me, I would play fifth edition again. Like I would play fifth edition again. Like every now and then I get a little bit of the itch for fifth edition. Personally, um, I've also wanted to try more. Not Pathfinder. God, I can't remember. Fantasy Craft? I think it was called Fantasy Craft. Maybe? I don't remember. There was like a modification of 3.5 that I remembered being way more into just because it like had a more interesting like character creator and had a little bit more like better fleshed out like character options and stuff like that made combat a little bit more dynamic that I liked. But I can't remember what it was called. Spent the most time in 3.5. I think it's the best overall due to sheer customization. Be careful. Oh boy, my friends have sworn off 3.5. It's a cursed game for them, and not because they didn't play the fuck out of it. Quite the opposite. They played so much of it that they got sick of it. I only played 2 games in 3.5, and my 3.5 meme is I don't need a use rope skill. I always made fun of use rope. It cracked me up. So much so that if I ever play 3.5 again, my character is gonna know use rope because a skill specifically for use rope is just funny. It's just funny. It's not good or bad. It's funny to me. You want to play Vampire Masquerade and Shadowrun? I recommend Masquerade. I recommend An Age of Darkness. We were playing Mage the Ascension, and it's good. It's quite good. It's a lot of fun. What's funny is our Mage game is kind of unique as far as games go because we're very generative focused when we do our role play, when we do our writing, when we do our GMing stuff like that. So like I'm writing this module, and like my friends we all really enjoy the writing element, and that's not to say that there's probably not any writing element, but like the writing element from like the ground up. Um, and I do too. Like that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. Like I still reference parts of Mothership, but a lot of this is head canon, and a lot of this is personal canon. Um, and this is all like I'll put it this way: warp drives. They have mechanics for warp drives, and my setting literally doesn't have warp drives. Like it doesn't have warp drive technology yet. That just doesn't exist. Um, yet. Um, because I wanted it to be within the solar system. I wanted it to be like within space, like close space. I wanted it to be kind of relatively small scale, and that's about to happen. Um, but the Age of Darkness, opposite. This is like the Age of Darkness is the first time that we played a game with an that where we looked at the established canon and Jackson said, "Let's play with the established canon," and I went, "Okay, all right, yeah, yeah." Um, uh, and it was a little awkward at first because I'm used to you're kind of like feeling it out, right? Like you're not looking up any information, you're not looking any narrative or meta information. You're just kind of a guy in D&D and you're learning things because you're exploring somebody else's fantasy, right? Like you're exploring their fantasy world is usually the best way that I think of D&D. Not to say that you have to play it that way. I've also played modules and stuff like that. But and enjoy ads, everybody, for who have ads. Uh, for World of Darkness, which has things like Vampire the Masquerade, There's so much established canon, and we're using it. We're actually using the established canon quite a bit. And it was weird. I've never had to like read lore on my character before. But it's good. It like got me in a specific mindset that also kind of helped me for this game because so much of what I'm now doing with my game is like I'm really being willing to be like, this is science fiction. I'm gonna write science fiction. It's gonna be science fiction. People, there are going to be things in places, and it's gonna be as descriptive as possible, as minute as possible. I want something to be somewhere, and I want somebody to say if they ask me some random bullshit about the solar system that I can look at it and say yes, that. Um, and make that a part of the element and of engaging with it both inside and outside of the game. Like I ask my players like between sessions, like, hey, what do you think of X? What do you think of Y? Like I want to keep them in the mindset that their characters are people who live in the setting as well. And like their characters do know things. They're not just going in blind. And they have a sense of what it's like to be in that setting all the time, essentially. So, yeah. Uh, as for Traveler, I would love to do a Traveler game. If I ever did a Traveler game on here, that would be interesting because I personally really like Traveler. I think Traveler works best, like a lot of games. I think Traveler works best when you, or the way that I approach Traveler is you don't think of your story until you see where people start going. I think that's the best way to handle Traveler. Because for me, Traveler is Space Cowboy. Traveler is Cowboy Bebop. It's Firefly. It's it's Star Trek. It's very much space outlaw. Um, that's what I think of when I think of Traveler, and that's what I like about Traveler. Traveler is very much like Traveler's the other side of space. Like this is science fiction horror. That's just science fiction space. Like it's just your guys, you're in space. Here's a bunch of materials for everything you would need to be in space. And one of the things that Traveler does really well is it really knows how to dissect and tier a lot of elements of its game to really kind of flesh out its like tiering of science fiction, since it really wants you to be thinking about like how space is different for everyone. Like some people who are in space live at the top some people live at the bottom, and everyone's tiering inside of that really contextualizes how they live in space. And Traveler does that really well. I think it does it really well with the way that it has a wide kind of range of like how to place people's technology and the kinds of technologies that can appear. Um, that's something that Traveler has a lot of, and it's got a lot of resources for that. It's got a lot of like very tactile resource to pull from that I think is really good. Welcome back from ads, everybody. Probably finish up here soon, but I do recommend both. I haven't done a Traveler game in a long time, and I really wanted to. I really wanted to do a Traveler game. So I hope, like, if this goes well, if people want to see more tabletop, and I do want to do more tabletop, I would love to run a Traveler game, or have one of my friends run a Traveler game. Traveler is also one of those things that usually we would do character creation off stream. I think we would do character creation on stream because Traveler still has one of my favorite character creators of any game that I've ever played. Ever. Like, I think Mothership is a pretty good one. Mothership's character generator is good in so much that it's literally a character generator. Like, you get a new character within minutes. Well, that's a meme. I don't believe that can actually. I don't know if it can happen in Mongoose or not. It's been a long time since I looked at it, but older editions of Traveler can. I don't know if newer ones do though. I don't think it should. I think that's really silly, but um, I think it is. Mongoose was the one that we played, and it didn't have one. It had negative consequences, but I don't think you could die. I don't think you could die. Unless you literally ran a character until they were like 90 years old, then obviously your character would die because they're 90 years old. They'd die of old age. um, but that's what I like about Traveler has one of the best character generators in that it truly feels like you're generating a lived experience that you get to thus look back on and be able to like really get a sense of like what somebody's like sense of place in a setting is. And it also does a good job of emulating that feeling of like actually you don't really get as much control as you want, right? You're everyone's life is kind of like more of a series of things that happen to you that you just kind of work with. And Traveler does that. And that's not to say that you can't have like the character that you want. Like I got really lucky in a lot of ways. Like I rolled the exact character I wanted in a lot of ways. Um, in fact, I rolled a like really good first character. They started off with a really good weapon. They had really good armor to start off with. They were a bounty hunter, which is what I wanted. They mercenary. They got a decently strong like armored vac suit, which is what I wanted. I really wanted to just be Boba Fett. I just really wanted to be Boba Fett. I like Boba Fett. I like Mandalorians. So I made pretty much a Mandalorian cross a little bit of Deadpool just because I like that's the kind of person I started off playing as. Um, uh, but like I think that's where Traveler works best is like be willing to roll with the character, right? Like the character isn't going to come out perfect because your characters aren't perfect. Because characters aren't perfect. Because people aren't perfect. And Traveler so much so is about people in space. It's about just being a guy in space. You're not more or less special, but you are a guy in space. It's also pretty streamlined, in my opinion. I think that Traveler's character creator is not like well, to say it's not complicated is not true, but to say that it isn't very accessible, it's very accessible. I think as far as like a character creator goes, like it is fairly good at getting you to make a character in not a lot of time, and it's fun to roll your character. A lot of it is rolling on tables, um, and you like get like a lot of material to start with to be like, okay, this is my character story. Now here, what kind of, because it can also influence the kind of like people that you run into and stuff. Like there's also an encouragement that like you should have like a lot of contacts going into a game of Traveler. You should like have known friends and enemies, stuff like that. That I really really like. Yeah, we should be playing. We should be playing Mothership. We should be playing Traveler. Clearly, I want to play Traveler. I do want to play Traveler. It's good. It's a good system. I highly recommend it. 10:15, 10:13. Go a little bit longer, but I think this is a good place to call it here soon. Like technically I got 3 drawings done today, which is pretty good. We got this one, we got Hanger. Hanger looks good. Hanger looks good. I don't think Hanger needs to be much more than this. I think Hanger could be simple. It doesn't need to be much more than this. And we've got this came out looking really good, actually. The longer I look at this came out looking really, really good. It's scary looking, but it's weird. Odds. I want to give it that feeling that, like, got these really weird angles. And I definitely want it to, like, differentiate itself, right? Like, I definitely don't want it to be like, oh, that's just a marker. No, I definitely want the artifacts to be, like, their own thing. Hey, wait a second. This guy's just doing Dead Space. No, I'm not. I swear. Doing something different. That thing looks cool. I really like how this came out. Now I'm using my rock knowledge. Now I'm using my rock knowledge. Speaking. Oh, that looks so good. Looks like a little snake. It isn't. It is, but it isn't. I won't say what it's supposed to look like. You're not supposed to know what it looks like. Spits on the guy who took his helmet off. The little plant thing in Alien Prometheus. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't describe that thing as a plant. I don't know what I would describe it as, though. I know what you're talking about. I know the thing. I know the thing. Ooh. Man, I can't believe Sean's first inclination was to tell Joanna to knock this off a goddamn ledge. It would have been a real shame if it broke and killed everyone. I don't think it would have killed everyone. I will admit, I don't know what would have happened if they successfully broke it. You know, if they successfully broke it, I would think they'd be feel very proud of themselves for nothing to happen because they fucking broke it. Here, you want me to punish the players? You knock an artifact over, it fucking shatters. Nothing happens. You punished by breaking my fucking thing. You broke my artifact. Oh, that does look really good though. That looks really good and really cool. I like how that's looking. Uh-huh. What do you mean by competence point? Wait, I don't think I want to. I also like that it's not like perfectly symmetrical. I actually kind of like that. Cuz like I guess I could try to like fix it, quote unquote, but I think it's better this way actually. I think it makes it feel more like unnerving. Uh-huh. It's the only way to be sure. The classic. I mean, what a good line from that movie though. That's so cool. That looks really good. I feel like how much it looks like an actual statue, like a really weird statue. Like, that looks really cool. That came out looking really, really good. Oh, I have to figure out how to get the... Yeah, there we go. You can't get rid of both of my signatures. Steal my work, you won't. I mean, I don't care. I shouldn't care as much. I really don't. I do. I feel like I do, and I should. But also sometimes I'm like, why do I care so much? People really want to steal my work. Fucking steal my work. It's whatever. The guy who's working on that Titanfall game stole my robot designs. I mean, they do look really like my robot designs, but I'm not gonna complain. I haven't gotten a chance to actually turn that into a project yet. They're not the exact same, but they are still very similar stylistically, even down to like having kind of a faux World War One, World War Two aesthetic to them. Diesel Knights, but it still looks good. Like if Diesel Knights is good, Diesel Knights is good. I commend you. Actually, shout out to you, Diesel Knights. If you need robot designs, I can do them. Granted, I'd like to use them for my thing too, but I could do robot designs for you. Just saying. So check out Engines of Destruction. I'll probably check it out later. That's the thing, is like my thing is still like they're wanting to make a Titanfall. That doesn't change anything. What I would want to make is a piloting game. I would want to make a piloting game. I don't think I'd have much ground play, if any at all. And theirs is very much Titanfall, so it is still different. Even if the robot designs are very similar. I still maintain that I didn't the reverse joint, like kind of like this kind of robot design with legs like this. I was making this design in high school before Titanfall came out. But you know, it is what it is. If anything, I kind of fangirled out when Titanfall did that. I was like, oh my god, they made the robots. I didn't think they'd make my robots. I was like, holy shit. Anyways, yeah, I should call that there. This is good. It was good. It was good. It was good. We got some good progress done today. I'm really happy with how these came out. Yeah, this is really good. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Before I go, let me put all my stuff back the way that it's supposed to go. And for the end of every stream, as always, we will come up with a prompt, and then I have to draw that prompt. Not the funny ass. Draw the funny ass. You're gonna make me draw a scuzzy? I don't know where Lauren got that term, but it like awoke at some. It like awoke something in me when she called it a scuzzy, and I was like, "Is that what it's fucking called? Where did I know that from?" I've never known what the funny S is called. I've always just known it as that dumbass S. Oh god, though. You know I can't draw that. It's literally called the cool S. I don't think anybody knows what it's called. I think everybody calls it something different. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows the cool S. Oh my god. Universal S, Super S, Pointy S, and Graffiti S. Graffiti sign in popular culture. And child lore. Oh my god, they actually draw it here. Can I actually do it right? Wait, you know, why is this on also see also hino moheji? Hino no homaji. Hino hino no moheji. No hino moheji. Oh, it's a face made out of it's a face made out of a bunch of it's a face made out of a bunch of katakana. That's fun. Or hiragana. It's made out of a bunch of hiragana. That's fun. That's fun. How did I know? Where have I heard of Hino Hino? Where have I heard of Hino Hino Mohaneji? Hino Hino Moheji. Why do I know that? Huh. The face known to be drawn by Japanese school children using hiragana became a popular drawing during the Edo period. Oh, that's fun. The word breaks down into several hiragana. It's often used to symbolize an undistinguished or generic human face, such as faces of Kakashi scarecrows and Teru Teru Bozu. Characters are often sung as they are drawn, making the Hi no Moheji an Ikakiyuta. Ikakiyuta. Drawing song. Drawing song. Oh my god, I might know that because of fucking hell. I do know a drawing song. Different drawing song, but anyways. Speaking of drawing song, what should I draw today, everybody? You can type in chat, whatever chat says. You're gonna make me draw the Hino. You're gonna make me draw Hino Menology instead of the funny S. I'll do it. Okay. I was. Okay, it's the funny S. But if you want to participate in chat, you can also type whatever chat says. I will use as a reference, and then I'll make a prompt, and then I gotta draw that prompt. Paint. So we've got being transformed S horrifically. I hate what I'm about to fucking do. What I'm about to do is fucking dumb. Timer. And then repaint. Take off my funny glove. It's bothering me. Crayon. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Fucked it up. Oh no, it turns out, yep, guys, this was the real horror. This was the real horror all along, was getting turned into the funny ass. I hate that I pulled this off with a mouse. This is actually what happened to this guy. This is exactly what happened to that guy. Alright, stick around to the very end, everybody, if you want to see that picture. We also do a bit of a closing bit. We do raid at the end of every stream, so that way the vampires in our chat can keep watching. So everybody else out there, you go lock your doors and windows. It is almost lunchtime for vampires. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, Thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to go back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following or clicking any of the links. There's a link to an Instagram and there's a link to all the socials in the Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally come hang out with the rest of the community there. Good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community out there and everyone who follows. You guys are a wonderful audience and we appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Make sure to also hashtag with MCCanary or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you gotta let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream. I encourage you guys to do it more. It does help us out. It's just super rad that you guys have been willing to do that. I don't do any other advertising other than the posts that I make, and I don't spend any money for it. So you guys tell people, it does help out, and it's just super cool that you'd be willing to do that. So go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon, Coffee, and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream as well as take on more projects. The stream would not be made possible without viewers like you. We thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you get, you can subscribe directly on Twitch. Check out the Patreon and Coffee here. It'll show you everything that you can get, and any amount is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. And thank you to everyone who did a wonderful job holding back to the road and famous. I definitely said words there. Thank you for everybody for coming and hanging out. Hope you had a good time. I had a good time. I enjoy when I go on these tabletop art rants. I like it. It's fun. And I feel like I've been on something, man. I don't know what it's been. It's been good. Get you some housekeeping, though, and get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment. That link tree has links to everyone's channels, everything that they've done, they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff here, which has everything that I post to. So you should go check everybody out in Goblin Entertainment. And stick around, we'll go say hi to Mossman. He's playing Slay the Princess. Slay the Princess? I think that's the name of the game. It's good. It's a good game. I definitely want to play it more. They're playing actually a part that I've seen before. Or at least a part of a part that I've seen before. It could be different. I don't know. But it's a good game. Otherwise, everybody go say hi to him. He's a good guy. It looks like he has a friend he's playing with. So stick around for that. Otherwise, have yourselves a good evening. Take it easy. Remember, you get turned into a horrifying creature. Just hope that you don't get turned into the funny ass. Just hope you don't get turned into the funny ass. I don't draw it, man. I don't draw the funny ass. I never have. It looked silly. There it is. No, it's a person being horrifyingly transformed to one from the middle. Just